All right, calling to order the City of Seal Beach Planning Commission meeting of September 17th, 2018. Commissioner Campbell, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Patty. Ms. Roberts, would you like to take roll?
Yes, Chair Thomas,
Here.
Vice Chair Klinger,
Here.
Commissioner Aguilar,
Here.
Commissioner Gerges, Commissioner Campbell,
Here.
all present.
Okay, thank you, Robin. So it's time for the approval of the agenda by motion of the Planning Commission. This is the time to notify the public of any changes to the agenda, rearrange the order of the agenda, and provide an opportunity for any member of the Planning Commission or staff to request an item be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. So, Director Landavazo, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes tonight.
Thank you, Crystal. Any commissioners, do you have any comments on the agenda?
No.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All right, please vote. I'm missing one? No, I got them all. Okay, yes, passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. To the next item, oral communications. At this time, members of the public may address the Planning Commission regarding any items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Commission cannot discuss or take action on any items not on the agenda unless authorized by law. Those members of the public wishing to speak are asked to come forward to the microphone and state their name for the record. All speakers will be limited to a period of 5 minutes. And I'd like to add, this is not for items that are on the agenda. This is stuff that's not on the agenda. So I'm going to open the oral communications period if anyone would like to speak. The time is open. Would anyone care to share anything? Anyone? Okay, then oral communications period is now closed. On to the consent calendar. We have one item, the approval of the minutes from July 16th, 2018. So this is July 2 months ago, not last month in August. So does anyone want to comment or would like to make a motion on the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. So consent calendar passes. Thank you, everybody. We have no continued items. We have no scheduled matters, so we are on to new business. So, next item number 2, minor use permit 18-4 for 1524 Marine Avenue. Director Landavazo, do we have a staff report on this?
Yes, Planner Fowler will be giving the staff report.
All right, thank you, Crystal. Mr. Fowler?
Thank you, Director Landavazo, Chairman and fellow commissioners. This evening, item 2 is minor use permit 18-4, a request for a conversion of a window on the first floor to a sliding window and to replace a balcony railing on an apartment building, which is non-conforming due to parking density and setbacks in the residential high-density zoning area in Old Town. The location is here on Marine, between Dolphin Avenue and Electric, surrounded by residential uses on all sides. On the site plan here, the improvements are here on the front of the building. It's to the very front unit and the upstairs unit for the balcony. There are currently 3 units on this property, one above the garage, one on the first floor here, and one on the second floor of this building. Currently, with the 3 units, it's required to have 6,534 square feet of area. It only has 2,500 as it's a 25 by 100 lot. It currently only has 2 parking spaces here in the back in the garage. Per code, with the 3 units, it would be required to have 6. And the front yard and rear yard setbacks are required to be 12 feet. 12 feet for the rear yard because it's 24 minus the alley, and the alley is 12 feet, so they'd be required to have 12 feet back here, and then 12 feet in the front. The front is only 11 foot 3 inches, and the rear is, I think it was like right around 10 feet. Minor use permit is required. The approval of a minor use permit is required due to the nonconformities on the property and due to what the applicant is requesting. The elevations here are, there's currently a window located right here in this area. It would be changed to a sliding glass door if approved. And the railing on the upstairs has been removed, and they're going to replace it to make sure that it conforms with today's building code. We have received no correspondence for this item. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, thank you, Steve. Do any commissioners have any questions of staff on this item? Okay, so I tell you what, we'll open this item up for public comment. That period is now open. Is the applicant here, or? Would you like to approach?
No, it's just the same footprint, it's a 10-foot wide.
We have, if you'd like to.
I have a loud voice. No, it's just,
Well, you have to state your name and you have to kind of go on the record. That's kind of how this works.
Mark Bennett, I own the property with my daughter and my wife, and it's just a 10-foot wide window right now, 10 foot by 4 feet, I think it is, and we just want to put a door and 2-foot side panel. So it's within the same footprint, same header, just coming down with a door, keeping another door too, but just so you could come in and out more light.
No, the conformant for the balcony itself, are you expanding it in any way?
No,
Or is it
no,
the same
no,
footprint as
no,
well?
yeah.
All right, very good. Any questions for Mr. Bennett? No? Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else want to comment on this item? All right, then we will close the open comment period. Do we have any staff discussion? Anyone want to make a motion?
I move that we approve.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Please vote. And it passes unanimously. All right, very good. Thank you very much for coming out. We appreciate that.
And Mr.
And, oh,
Mayon?
yes, there's one more statement that
Oh, it's okay.
City, Assistant City Attorney Amy Grayson needs to make, so.
We have a 10-day appeal period, and if anybody wants to appeal this, it starts running tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Okay, very good. Thank you, Amy. Okay, moving on to item 3 on our agenda. This is minor use permit 18-6 at 1011 Ocean Avenue. So Director Landavazo, do we have a staff report?
Yes, Planner Fowler will be giving the report.
Planner Fowler, please.
Thank you, Director Ladavazo, Chairman Thomas, and fellow commissioners. Item 3 tonight is at 1011 Ocean Avenue, minor use permit 18-6. This is to allow the alterations of exterior doors and the conversion of 2 windows on the first floor to doors and replace balcony railings at an apartment which is non-conforming due to density in the RHD 20 zoning area. This property is located on Ocean Avenue on the north side. It's a 4-unit apartment building that's surrounded by residential uses. The property is non-conforming due to density because of the fact that it's required to have 8,712 square feet for all 4 units, but it only has 5,500 square feet. And the setback in the front is, as indicated here, 10 feet and is required to be 12 feet. An MUP is required because they are exterior improvements, so an MUP is required. The applicant is converting the 2 bottom windows down here into doors and changing the upstairs doors and also changing the railing on this apartment building. If you actually went by the apartment building, you would see that it's actually already been done. We are doing this as he was finishing up his remodel. He didn't understand that he had to go through this process. We have not received any correspondence From this, with that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
All right, thank you, Steve. Any commissioners have any questions for staff? All right, let's open the public comment period on this item. Is the applicant here? Would you like to come up, or?
No, I don't have any comments unless you have questions.
I guess we can ask if we should have Mr., I'm sorry, are you Mr. Greenberg?
No, I'm Dave Arnold.
Oh, Dave Arnold, I'm sorry. If we should have Mr. Arnold approach, or are we okay?
I have a little bit of a hearing.
Oh, okay.
Forward to hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, why don't you step up and introduce yourself? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm Dave Arnold. I'm one of the owners. There's two owners, Ken Greenberg and I.
Okay, very good. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Arnold? I think we're okay.
Good.
All right, good. All right. Thanks. Thank you. We're closing the open comment period. Any discussion among staff? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and move to approve this project. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, let's vote. All right, that passes unanimously. All right.
And again, we have a 10-day appeal period from this decision. The appeal period starts running tomorrow.
All right, we appreciate you coming out. Thank you very much. All right, very good. On to item 4. 4 is a minor use permit 18-7 at 632 Sandpiper. Director Landavazo, do we have a report?
Yes, Planner Fowler will be giving the report.
No wonder you were here so early today. Mr. Fowler?
Thank you, Director Landavazo and Chairman Thomas. Fellow Commissioners, item 4 this evening is at 632 Sandpiper Drive, minor use permit 18-7, to allow an alteration of less than 25% of the interior walls to remodel the bathrooms and the kitchen on a property which is non-conforming due to setbacks in the RLD 9 zoning area. This property is located on the hill, in between Taper Drive and Bolsa as Sandpiper wraps around. It's surrounded by residential uses. The setbacks which are non-conforming on this property are the 4-foot on the south side of the property and the front yard setback, which this one is required to be 5 feet, it's only 4. And the front yard setback is required to be 18 because it's a front-facing garage, and it's only 15.6. Minor use permit approval is required for this due to the fact of less than 25% of the walls being altered. As you can see in the floor plan here, realistically what they're doing is closing up a door and removing a couple of walls here to open up this kitchen area, to provide a more open floor plan for this area, and they are changing out the fixtures in the bathrooms, but no walls are being altered in those areas. We have no correspondence for this project, and that concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you, Steve. Commissioners, do we have any questions for staff? No. Okay, so we'll open the public comment period. Would anyone like to speak to this? Is the applicant here? Oh, would you like to come forward? We don't have anything to say. Okay, that's fine. All right, well then, if no one else wishes to come forward, then we will close the open comment period. Staff, do we have any discussion? Anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Patty and Robert. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. Ms. Grayson?
Thank you. There's a 10-day appeal period from this decision. It starts running tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming out. Looks like a nice little remodel. I like it. Thank you. All right. Have a great day. Thank you. Back on to our agenda. We are now moving on to item 5, which is conditional use permit 18-7 at 640 Taper Drive. And Director Landavazo, do we have a staff report?
Yes, Planner Fowler will be giving the report.
Mr. Fowler.
Again, thank you, Director and Chairman and fellow Commissioners. Item 5 this evening is at 640 Taper Drive, conditional use permit 18-7, to allow an interior remodel and the addition of a second floor on a property which is non-conforming due to setbacks in the RLD 9 area. Again, this was on the neighboring street from the last one on Taper Drive. It's surrounded by residential uses up in the hill area. On this one, the setback, the side yard setback is non-conforming. It's required to be 5 foot. It's only 4'7". All the other setbacks on this property meet the requirements for the city. A CUP is required for this one other than a minor use permit because additional square footage is being added onto this one onto the second floor. This is the first floor where you can see there's a remodel throughout the whole bottom floor of this floor plan. And here on the second floor, you can see there's this is the existing area, which is similar to this right here. They're adding on to a master bedroom and a deck on the exterior of the building. The addition will not be on the side of the non-conforming setback, so all setbacks will be met for the new addition. As you can see, the exterior doesn't come all the way out to this wall, so it will not, and this is the non-conforming side. We have not received any correspondence for this project, and with that, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, thank you, Steve. Do we have any questions for staff?
I have a question.
Director Burgess?
The second-story balcony, would they be allowed, and I'm not opposed to it, I'm just asking the question, would they be allowed to enclose that space and create a bedroom out of that space if they wanted to, down the road?
If they were to want to enclose that, they would have to come back for another conditional use permit to
But it
enclose
would
it.
not be, it would not be,
It would not be prohibited. It would just have to go through this process
right,
again.
okay.
All right, thank you, Vic. Are there any other questions? All right, so let's open the public comment period for this item. Would anyone like to say anything? Well, we only have 2 people left. Are you the applicant? Would you like to step forward and say anything? All right, very good. Please.
So I'm the applicant. My name is Jesus Rivas, which is the agent for the owner. I don't know if you guys have any questions.
I have a question. Is that a sleeping porch up there? Because I think that's awesome.
No, I mean, you could sleep. But no, it's just, they just want to face the beach.
Oh,
That's
okay.
basically it.
Does this property have a backyard?
Yes.
It does, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Anyone? No? Okay. Okay, so I tell you what, we're going to close the comment period. Thank you, Mr. Rivas. Let's see, any discussion, commissioners? No. Call for question? I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, let's vote. And it passes unanimously, Mr. Rivas. Very good. I think this is a very nice addition to District 3.
And again, there is a 10-day appeal period from this decision. The appeal period starts running tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Amy. So that is the end of our regularly scheduled items for vote. Do we have a director's report, Director Landavaza?
No report tonight.
No report today? Okay. Commission concerns or anything anyone would like to discuss, please.
I do, actually. I was contacted.
Commissioner Aguirre, you have the floor.
Okay,
Aguilar, you have
Aguilar,
the floor.
thank you. I was contacted by a couple of constituents in my district that were concerned about applications that they had submitted to the planning department and how long it's been taking to get either processed or approved. Could you fill us in on, is it a staffing issue, there's a backup, is there some sort of way to fix that in the near future?
All of the above.
All of the above, so, okay.
Yes, right now, with regard to plan checks in particular, all of the entitlement applications, in general, any other city would run about maybe 4 to 6 months or 6 to 9 months, depending on what the application type is. In this city, we've actually made it a priority to get those within 2 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months for these types of applications. We do, I mean, this here in front of you is our entire planning department at the moment, and that's what it's been, that's what we're going to be with for the next year. Along with the entitlement applications, we do all plan checks, we do other long-range planning projects and any other thing, counter service, inquiries, phone inquiries, all of those lovely things. Right now, what we have is we have an inundation with our plan checks. We've been getting a large number of plan checks coming in. Steve is the one who primarily is doing all of these, so one person trying to prepare the PowerPoint, prepare those staff reports, the presentations, along with doing all of that, and he still has other obligations to do, so it does take a little bit longer. Rather than our regular 2-week turnaround for, say, an in-concept coastal review, it's taking closer to 3 to 4 weeks. With the Permit Streamlining Act, we have about 30 days to do it. We don't like being there. We like staying at 2 weeks, but this is just the reality of where we are right now with the staffing level that we have. We're still always trying to get as much done as we can, but you heard Steve came in at about 6:45 this morning. Our start time is 7:30, so he comes in early, stays late, and this is just about where we're at.
Okay, I thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Crystal. Anyone want to add anything else? All right, so I do have one comment, or a little two. One is I'm saying goodbye to my 40s this week. I want to thank them for a great decade, and looking forward to the next one.
Happy birthday, Chair.
And also, I would like to have a shout out to my friend Lynn on First Street. Thank you very much for taking such an interest in local government. With that, meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.